till I get my money right.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Quantum Ascent. I have BONK up on the screen, the 1 week price chart. As you can see, we have 5 waves up completed there. That top back in November of last year, right after the Trump pump. Looking at this thing on the way down, we're on the weekly. It does look like they probably had 5 waves in here. If not, could be an ABC. Either way, though, brought us back down here to the lows, and right now working our way back up. So I know there's people out there screaming right now that this can't be a 5 wave move. Wave 3 can't be the shortest. Well, guys, wave 3 is not the shortest, 400%. And then this wave 5 here, 387%. There you go. There's your math. The other thing is you're screaming wave 4 can't drop below wave 1. I'm telling you, yes, it can. Yes, it can, and not in an impulsive manner. Did we end up being impulsive here on the 5th wave? We certainly did not. So I know how these rules work. I don't want to get into it anymore. Don't even bother commenting in the comments on that. I'm done with that stuff. All right, right here. This ended up being the low there. So now what it looks like is, guys, across the board in markets, we're talking about waves 3, 4, and 5, but it looks like for BONK, a little bit ahead of the game. Waves 3 and 4 already done here. Wave 3 didn't get us up as high as we would have liked, but that's okay. We're still going to draw out some targets here with fibs, and we're going to go from there. So first thing I want to do is let's just see if this wave 1 to 2 range has been closed out. It hasn't. We see a little bit up here at that area. We can tell that this 5th wave, though, closed right at the 1618 before this thing rolled over and actually took out a new low there. So 1618 of that range, we saw that hit right here. If I draw it right here, waves 3 to 4, obviously haven't closed that range out. With it being higher than that, we see some targets out there. And then this is the range we're going to be most interested in right now. This one going back to the Trump pump. This was our the larger drawdown, and this is the range we're currently working on. So I have that there. The other thing we want to do, real quick, I'm going to pull these other ones in to see if there's any confluence with this chart. So not a ton of confluence. You can see the 4236 gets up there a little bit. We can bring that back into play after we dive into this right here. But before I do that, guys, join the Quantum Circle. Entries, exits, and strategy, emotional mental clarity. 2 daily macro videos every day. Link to that is in the bio. Guys, on the entries and exits alone, you're going to be able to pinpoint that you're making that $95 back every month. The emotional mental clarity is the icing on the cake, but go check that out. Link to that in my website, or in my bio, excuse me. All right, right now, this wave 3 to 4 drop. I want to see, do I have any confluence here in this range? I do that, and we have a little bit up here. That 4236 of this also looks, was it in a similar place as over here for this guy? A little bit. We see that we are starting to find a range up here where it would make sense for this 5th and final wave to go. Up in this area, we've shown a couple different ranges. There's a lot of confluence up there in that area. So the other thing I want to do, let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of this range, is I want to look at what we've had so far. We've had some data. We have 3 waves that we think are in. What's a full extension of these 3 waves here? Well, that's where we really get the confluence. Right here, the 4236 of our current price action also hits the 2618 of the broader range. That's going to be the area I am most interested in for BONK right now, right up there. Now, this is close to a $2 billion market cap, pretty decent size coin. But we can't ever take the 4236, a full extension of the range. We can't ever take that off the table, especially in an alt season environment. But I am looking for my primary to be up here around that 2618. We see that there is confluence right here at the former all-time high. We have confluence right here at the 1618. So there is a lot going on. We're going to want to pay attention to these numbers on the way up. But I do think that very plausible that we go a full extension of the data that we have so far. I pull that in, and you can see, doesn't get us too far. I mean, that's probably a decent amount. It's probably like, 28%. And we'd still have more confluence right there around the 1618. So there are a couple different levels that we can make it to, guys. But I do think in an alt season environment, we'll be able to reach out a little bit further. Do want to keep that in mind, though. So not going to be able to give you waves 3, 4, and 5 here. But what we will see here is just a 5-wave move that gets us up to that area. Again, this is the weekly. So it might not be as clear, right? We go back here. I mean, it's pretty hard to find waves in there, right? To say that entire first wave is done. You'd have to break it down a little bit further. Point being is this 5th wave could just look like a few green candles that pop us all the way up. And that's most likely what'll happen. Now, timing-wise, I don't know. Like, is this thing going to go up with the altcoins, set a 5th wave, come back down, and we end up having the crashing pattern that we talk about on the channel where it's actually a 7-wave move? We're going to have to wait and see on that because this is ahead of the rest of the market. There's a couple of these alts that have set in what looks like a 3rd wave there. So got to wait and see, but I am anticipating our first, my primary target going to be up here. That should be some pretty decent gas. What is that? That's like a 6.7x. A lot of the stuff we're looking at is around 10x. Well, full extension puts us at 10.5x. So you have a couple different price targets, right? I want to be very careful because it does look like waves 3 and 4 are done. Some of the other altcoins are still down here. They haven't kicked off their wave 3. So let's start being conservative here with that. If we get up to that level quickly, then we know we have some other stuff to look at. But for the time being, this 14,000 level 0.00014, that's the level I'm interested in. That would give us, almost an 8x, or almost a 7x on that wave. This first wave, 188%. This 3rd wave, 255%. So that would even be a much bigger wave than these two. Okay, let's see here too. This run up here, 357%. It even exceeds these first 3 waves here. All right, so that's what we got. Again, I will keep you guys in the loop as alt season gets moving. This is going to be my, conservative primary target. That's going to be my blow off. I think both of them are possible. But again, I do want us to be conservative and make sure that we hit this target first before you guys are holding the bag through another bear market. So like I mentioned, guys, join the Quantum Circle, real-time trades, access to my portfolio, 2 macro videos a day, a Discord channel, and I teach you how to do TA just like me. Link to that is in my bio. If not, I'm just super appreciative you guys are here. If you could follow, like, repost, I want to get this out to as many people as I can before it's too late. Hope you guys are having an awesome Tuesday, and I'll catch you in a bit.